Hello, Julia.
Hey there.
Welcome to my mini podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm very
So
happy to be here.
I was doing like some little research on you. Like when you stalk people, this kind of thing. But also from what I already know about you, because we have been friends for some time, not too long, but some time. Sorry about time; it's about quality. And so you are born and raised in Madrid, but I would pretty much say that you are a citizen of the world because you have studied in Madrid, you have studied in Italy, you have studied in Portugal, where we met, and you have done this like super cool, like kind of triangle English learning program where you've been with Education First in Hong Kong, Sydney, and New York.
Yeah.
So yeah, you pretty much really very traveled. And I think one of the reasons I wanted to speak with you is because I think you are probably one of the most balanced people that I know. Very organized, you like to plan, you like your social encounters and traveling and people, but you also like your time alone. You like reading, you like listening to your Taylor Swift, taking your pictures, doing your
Word.
scrapbooks. So yeah, I want to know more about you. And I know like you go online and you find a lot of information about people because
Yes.
this is 21st century and people share a lot of things, but you have like these misconceptions and these like things on the back of your mind of what you think people are and what they've been through, right? So through your own words, tell me about your path, tell me about your life story, tell me where you come from and where you want to go. Let's go.
Well, well, thank you. First of all, thank you because all that you've said is very nice. Everything you've said about me is super nice. But yeah, I think that my development as a person, like all in regards of my career, with everything that I've learned, has had to do a lot with both the places that I've been to and the people that I've been with. So I think those two have had a huge impact in my life, probably like most people's lives. I mean, in the end, it's who you meet and the friendships and the friendships that you make that shape you in many senses. And I've had the great opportunity to meet so many different people with such different backgrounds and such different ways of thinking in all of my travels, in all my here as well in Madrid, where I spend most of my time, is where I've really, grown and changed. But every single trip, every single new experience has also added
Mhm.
a bit to the person that I am right now, and like has opened my curiosity, has opened my ways of learning. I've not only learned different languages, but I also feel like I've learned so many from different cultures, and it is a bit cliche, right? Like you go abroad and you change as a person, or you change a lot, who you are, how
Mhm.
you act, and what you think of the rest. But I think it's very true. I think it really happens. It's really happened for me. So traveling has been, I think, a huge part of me and of who I am right now.
Yeah. And would you say you have a specific point in time, like a specific trip you did that changed you? Was like this tipping point or was more of a compound
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, probably. When I was younger, when I went to live in the United States for a year when I was in high school. For me, that huge change in everything, the lifestyle, just the lifestyle is different, and I feel like it changed me a lot. It made me way more open, way more outgoing, and yeah, it really changed me, I think. And it sounds super super cliche, like my year in the United States changed me, but it is true in the end. And I learned so much. I learned so much English. I met so many new people that I still
Mhm.
am in contact with, even though it's been what 6 7 years since I last saw them. I still keep in touch with them, and I'm sure that if I see them, nothing will have changed because it's I made really good friendships there. And yeah, that was probably my tipping point. And from then on, it was just, ooh, I like this. I want more of this.
Huh? Really interesting. And yeah, I think it sounds cliche in the way, but it's really true. And I see from people like you, and I see from other people who find this place where you're like, okay, I've learned so much now, I want to explore the world. And one thing also that I think it's really surprising is that you're a very, very curious person, and you go into a place and you immerse in the culture. Like you don't want to be Julia, the Spanish person that goes to the US and then becomes the Spanish person in the US, which I mean you are because that's where you come from. But you want to learn English and you become fluent. So you're like bilingual, polyglots kind of thing, because you go into a place and you learn the language, you become fluent, and you learn about the culture. So you went to Italy and now you're fluent in Italian. I mean, you're not like me. I say, oh, I speak a little bit of German and I know the basic to like get myself going. No, you can have deep conversations in that language.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
think that's like the best way of in the end connecting with people, right? I think that
Mhm,
you get to know people better once you learn their language and once they feel comfortable enough to talk in their language, because in the end, like, we
yeah.
all know English, we all know English to a different extent, but
Hmm.
you feel most comfortable when you're talking in your mother tongue, and that is when you can use your expressions, when you can use words that really have powerful meaning to you. And that's sort of why I try to, well, aside from the fact that I love learning languages, I think it's very fun. I think it's really is a very, very powerful tool to connect with people. And for me, that's one of the main reasons also why whenever I go somewhere, I try
Hmm.
to learn the language, because I like meeting exactly like locals. And I feel like if you only stick to English, or you only stick to the tongues that the languages that you know,
Hmm.
you're not going to learn really truly about the culture and the people there. And I think it's a very it's it goes a very long way to learn the language of a local, and I really like it. So I really try to push myself to learn it, to learn languages more.
Yeah, and I think that's inspiring from a
Thank
point of view of someone who is around you and interact with you in Portuguese as well.
thank you so
So
much.
which languages would you say you're comfortable speaking in?
Well, Spanish, because it's my mother tongue, then English, and also Italian, since I was in Italy for, like you said, a semester, and also French and Portuguese. I still have to touch up on French and Portuguese a bit. I think those are the ones that I should practice a bit more, but I do feel comfortable speaking in them.
Yeah, and you are in your last year of college.
Yeah.
Last year, or like semi last year.
It's the
How long do you
last.
have left?
It's last semester. Last semester. So now from here on, the real stuff is going to happen: graduation, thesis, and jobs. Hopefully,
And jobs and real life and
yeah.
wherever it
And
comes from there.
adulting. Yes, adulting, definitely.
Adulting. Yeah, I think like most people I see that they are studying and they think, which right now I think it's kind of wrong, but you go the other way around as well, which is I'm in school, so I should learn in school. And this should
Mhm.
be the status quo. And then nothing else, because the rest of the time I should just go out and enjoy my youth. And then you finish school and you stop learning. But I'm sure you'll be a person that won't do this because you can learn in school, but you also learn from life and all these topics that interest you and so many things that you like. So my question is, what makes you feel inspired and feel like your best self?
Well, that is a very good question. I think in the end, well, it's different for every person, right? But
Hmm.
for me, it would be, I think what motivates me the most are, I do like what you said of learning in school, and having a whole different life outside, and going out having fun. I think that that is a very, like, and for me it's mostly about people, and it's about being with
Hmm.
people and learning from people also, for that, like, other than from books and from classes and from university. I feel like I learn so much when I'm with people who know more about a certain topic or who can teach me so many different things. I think that's where I get my passion from. When I see people who are motivated about certain things, I automatically I think, wow, I want to be like this. I want to be so passionate about certain things because there's so many things that I like, right? Like learning
Mhm.
languages, of course, like so many things. But when I see other people pursuing their dreams, being super motivated with what they do, I think that's what for me it inspires me the most, and it helps me learn, and it also helps me sort of focus on a specific path. So seeing you, for example, doing what you like, or seeing you going and uh, going on a crazy trip, completely totally unplanned, where you are getting completely out of your comfort zone. I think that is super inspiring, and I think that you are totally changing the status quo of your life, and you're heading on to a new adventure. I think that is very inspiring for me, and that really makes me want to do other things and try different perspectives, different activities, different ways of seeing things. I think, yeah, I think from that's where I learn the most from people and where I get most inspired.
Okay. So yeah, I would say pretty much for me it's more or less the same. And what are things like you want to learn right now, or you look at the future, you're like, "Hmm, I want to explore this topic. Can be for people, can be for you. I know you're also learning Python, things like that.
I am trying to upgrade my computer skills. It's a tough way. I really want to do it, and I really want, because
Hmm.
it's, for me, it's such a foreign and unknown world. So I really do want to upgrade and like learn and try to understand a bit behind the whole computer programming and all that. So that is something that I am looking forward to next for next year, and
Hmm.
well, something that maybe it's not so much mm, professionally related, but I want to also explore a bit, sort of like the boundaries of my body. I want to push myself when it comes to sport. I'm going to try to run a half marathon next year. So I'm really looking forward to that. I want to that is something I've never really run. I was actually one of the slowest people in my whenever we had to run, but I'm really looking forward to that, to just to try something different, to push a bit myself. And yeah, I think those are a couple of things that I'm looking forward to. And of course, I really want, also, since I'm going to have well, hopefully I start working one of the like both, either as an internship or as a full time. I really hope that I can learn a lot in these jobs, because it's true that out of college I feel like it's one like the times
Hmm.
where you learn the most in a position where you learn different things than from university, and it's a very big moment of change, right? So I really hope that I can learn both from what I do, whatever it is that I end up doing, and from the people that I end up working with.
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes like life just gives you lessons, and other times you gotta push them. One thing I like that you said is like you want to learn these because like you need those skills to excel in life, or just because you're curious. But another thing that I got, you're like, I want to do half marathon. I used to be the slowest, but I want to push myself. And I mean that's so interesting because I don't know if you know this like concept of growth mindset and static mindset. So
You can explain.
basically, I will explain. So when you have a growth mindset is when you get yourself to do things, because the people that succeed are not the people who maybe sometimes they have some easier capabilities, some they are better in some specific fields, but it's mostly when they know that they can improve.
Okay.
So imagine you say, oh, I was the slowest, so yeah, running is not for me, I will never run in my life because I'm so slow, look at me. But no, you're like, okay, I used to be the slowest, I want to do this, so how do I get there? And you kind of design this path because you know it's possible. The same with math, it's saying, oh, I'm not good at math, so I will never go into those professions or anything. No, if you understand, okay, I can work on this skill and I can improve myself to get there if there's something I enjoy doing or I think it's useful.
Yeah.
So this is kind of how it goes, and I think
Mhm.
you have that. And so yeah, the same, like relating to what I said in the beginning, I think you're a very organized person, and
Thank you.
you like to plan. And so how do you like structure this kind of frameworks of the mind to get you to where you want to be, or to just design your own path? Like
Well,
what's your yeah.
there's a lot of just playing by ear and seeing like, what feels right at the moment. But it is true that
Hmm.
I'm organized, even though probably some people would say that I am not a very tidy person. But when it comes to working and when it comes to organizing my life, I am kind
Uh-huh.
of structured. And I really like using Notion, which is an app. I mean, it's really we really you and I really bonded through this because through this app, and I learned so much of it from you. But yeah, but Notion has been super helpful actually in sort of structuring, because it's not only that I like structure, is that I like also structure with aesthetic a bit. So I feel like Notion gives me that completely. This is not an app for Notion. Um,
This interview is sponsored by
Yeah, no, but I really try to organize sort of what
Mhm.
I'm doing right now, and organize. I'm the kind of person that usually has 1,000 of to-do lists and like which crosses them off. And with Notion, I've sort of been able to keep them structured and to the point, and not have 1,000 post-its laying around, which is what I
Mhm.
usually do beforehand. Um, but yeah, it's a very cool tool, I think.
Yeah, so it's like this project management tool, and I also have my entire life in there. So it goes like from personal life, work, projects, reflections, wherever is happening. My life is like my second brain, and I love how you said we bonded. If it wasn't for Notion, we wouldn't be friends. But
Yeah.
literally, and I remember you showed me your Notion page, and it was very simple. It was just two templates or something, and you were like, look, I found this app, look what I'm doing. And you showed me your Lisbon
Mhm.
templates, and I was
Yeah.
like, so cool, like I've been doing it for ages, look at mine. And then you were like, whoa, you can do all those things.
Yeah, I was so surprised.
And then you text me the next day and you told me you spent the entire night like awake building your Notion. So yeah, like we get to this point in this conversation where everyone wants to see your Notion right now.
Yeah,
you know
yes, of course.
I want to see your Notion, everyone wants to see your Notion. So it was like wherever you can show us
Okay, okay.
that can help us have more organized lives.
I will try to do my best, um, and show you a bit of my Notion, which I mean, it is very it's very amateur for me, but what I have here, I mean, I've called it the life of Julia, of course, and I this is sort of like my main dashboard where I have all my different pages, everything that
Hmm.
like what Mariana said, my life is here. So yeah, basically everything that I do is here, and I have it divided in learning and university. So different things
Hmm.
that I'm currently working on, projects and inspirations. So job
Like,
applications, courses, then sort of like a random section for more personal stuff where or things
hmm.
that I do more for myself. Also, obviously, a part where I'm of things that I'm currently working on. So both like Lisbon, Madrid, my expenses. Then,
Uh-huh.
of course, a bullet journal with reading list, curious topics, and also future plans. And of course,
Yeah.
my to dos, of my head to dos. Um, so one of the ones that I have that I usually spent
Hmm.
this past semester, it's the one that I've been working on the
Wait.
most. And
Okay, I don't think this was. I don't think the screen was sharing because it was down there, so I needed to edit it. But now I think it's sharing. So
Oh, okay, okay. So now it's working.
Yes, now it's working.
Okay. So yeah, so this is my Lisbon notion, and it's basically everything that I have been. Well, I have obviously here like my monthly schedule where I really need a calendar. I've always needed one since I was little, and I think is the perfect tool because I can put it in on my phone. I can add things and
Mhm.
events just to know what I have each day. Like I use the calendar a lot, and obviously my Lisbon to dos, which are also
Actualizar-me,
yeah, of course. There you can see that I keep your advice very seriously. I take it very, very seriously. And then here I have different pages with, for example, restaurants that I either had to visit or where I wanted to go with some pictures of some places. I have to say that the brunch places that half of them are inspired and recommended by Mariana. Um, and I also have like some trips, some information from Lisbon that I really got when I did a free tour, one of the free tours. So I really I noted like a lot of the things that they explained to us, and because I found them very interesting. And this is sort of like this is sort of how I organized it. And if I also use it a lot for school, so maybe if I have a paper that I have to write, so here I write like my ideas, what is are some of my sources and links and all. I really use it for everything, and yeah, I find it super useful actually. And well, I don't know if I wasn't sharing earlier, this was like my main dashboard where I have like all my different parts, and all the different like maybe more learning and universities, maybe more personal, and obviously yeah, the to dos. So yeah, I think that is, and I also use it a lot. Yeah, for class, like I said, I use it for different like for projects. It's also very useful. Like I said, like I want to learn do more coding, and I had a class on that. So all the code you can write here, and it's very very useful. I think, and you can add also like files and everything. So I think it's a very cool app. I use it a lot, and I really really like it. If you can't tell.
We love Notion. We love for Notion.
Yeah.
So you kind of like split these your to-dos into the place where you are. So for example, you're in Lisbon, you put like your to-dos and your calendar into the Lisbon
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
page, and then you go to Madrid and you put everything in Madrid.
Yes,
Uh,
that's. I mean, the Madrid one is pretty empty right now, so I don't really want to show that one because I'm still not really in Madrid, so to say. But yeah, it will from next semester on. It will be. I'm still in Lisbon mindset. I feel like I'm just on holiday right now.
it's just a break and then you go back.
Exactly.
Cool. That's a big, big improvement since last time I've seen it.
Thank you.
And it looks really, really pleasing to watch and to
Thank
look
you.
at.
It took me a long time, but I've learned a lot. I've learned that those nights staying up late, learning how to set it up, were very
Uh-huh.
useful. I love them.
Yeah.
YouTube has taught me so much.
Yes. Do you have like a favorite YouTuber kind of resource you use to set up your Notion page?
Well, not really. I like browsing different styles because that is something
Mm-hmm.
also I don't like sticking to one and like just copying and pasting a template. I like making it my own, and I like taking things that I find cool from each different one. So maybe this YouTuber has this thing that I really like, and maybe this other one has this one. So I end up making my own mix, my own remix of everything.
Okay. Cool. 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 I really like it. Yes.
Thank you.
And I would say like
It's
even
an
if people
honor
don't
that you say that you liked it and that you think I've come a long way since you last saw
really
me.
it's like if I would show you mine now, I mean I also improved mine, but I think yours is so much better than mine.
I
Yes.
highly doubt it. I highly doubt it, but thank you, Mariana.
Because the thing with Notion is like I think some people are more naturally organized than others.
Mhm.
I don't know if you would say you are like naturally organized. Would
Depends.
you?
On yeah, on these kinds of things, yes.
Yes. So I would say I'm pretty much a mess, like myself. Like naturally, I'm not the most organized person, and that's why I find so many like templates and frameworks and things to force myself to be organized. But if I don't have them, it's like I get lost, so I need them. So it's like
Okay.
a need, you know, it's like you read, you have Notion for me kind of thing. Yes.
It is
Okay.
very useful.
Yes. So I have three more questions for you, which now would be like a wrap up, more kind of like suggestions, more kind of like reflections.
Okay.
So I know you read a lot. You're
I
like a consistent reader, I would
Yes. I
say.
mean, I have I consider I think I read, but I don't I think I just have so many friends that read so much more that I don't think that I read a lot. But I do read, yes. I read a
Yes.
considerable amount.
You read a considerable amount. And
Yes.
comparing to like the average person who will be listening and seeing this, you read more than them, so you can
Okay.
advise them. Okay.
Okay.
So, if there's three books that you would lend a friend,
Oh, wow.
which books would it be? Not like your favorite. You would lend them because it would help them make their lives better.
Well, that is a very good question. Mostly because I am one of those kinds of readers who likes more novels and just sort of
Hmm.
fiction books in the end, rather than than books about how to improve your life, how to um, yeah, more than the kinds of books that you like to read, which you are actually
Hmm.
the person who introduced me more to those kinds of books and the reason why I've started liking them more. But I've still not read a considerable amount in order to say, oh yeah, I love reading these kinds of books, because obviously you've handpicked the ones that I've read and you've handpicked the ones that I've liked. But even then, the three books that I would recommend, not maybe not so much to help you to improve or anything, but maybe just to learn or just to have a good time. Well, I'm going to do like three categories. Like the each one of them is for a different category. So I think that the like how I call them, like the help, like the self help books, like these kinds of books. I would recommend the Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which is one that it was the first one that I was actually able to finish. The first self
Hmm.
help book that I was able to finish, and I really liked it because it really talks about it doesn't talk about how you shouldn't care about anything. It just talks about that you should prioritize and focus on the things that you should really care about. So it really makes you think of where you should focus all your energies and all your and where you should invest more time, and to try to let go of the unimportant things and try that they don't affect you that much. And I really liked it because I didn't feel like I was being lectured. It was more like a fun, like just
Hmm.
with jokes and funny, and I thought it was very cool. I really liked it. And that is book number one. Book number two, A Thousand Splendid Suns. It was a very tough book, I think, when it comes to to the story and everything that happens. Then it's about Afghanistan from years back, and it's I thought it was a great book. It was tough, but it was a very very good book in my opinion. And third one, completely fiction, and complete. Well, it's this is sort of like to evade yourself whenever you want, but I think this trilogy was probably one of my favorite ones. I really like books that are about like about murders and like crimes and
Hmm.
these kinds of thrillers. And they're actually by a Spanish author, and they're called. Well, the first one is called La Novia Gitana, and yeah, it's very. It's. I mean, it doesn't require you to be very focused. It's just the kind of book that, okay, before going to bed, you just read a bit just to entertain yourself, just instead of maybe, I mean, instead of watching a movie or a TV show, just read one of these books. And I think it's very, I think I really liked it. I really like the whole series. It's also very,
Mhm.
it's very like thriller or something like that, but very good. I liked it.
Cool. I will. I think those are great suggestions. The first one I've read more than once. I think it's a book that you need some refresh on.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and I think it was really interesting what you were saying because like this guy is from Mark Manson, and
Mhm.
this guy, I'm not sure if this was the reason he did what he did, but he traveled for 7 years, like finding his life purpose. And then he wrote this bestseller book because he was like, we should not care so much about these things that don't matter. We should do more of what we like. So he came up with that book. And I think it's really easy to read. So
Yeah.
I would also advise it. And the other two, I will put them in my to read list
Mhm.
for later. Good.
Yes.
So, Julia, if
You
I
scare
love
me
your
with your questions.
I know, because like every time I'm like, okay, new question, your face like,
It's like, oh my god.
yes. So when you look back at the 18-year-old Julia, you
Uh-huh.
see where she is, you see where you are right now, everything you've learned in between. What would you tell her? What's like one thing, two things you're like, Julia, please do this, or be this, or life is this?
Okay. Well, that is a very good question. I think I would probably tell her, hmm, it is complicated. I am very happy with like I mean, the 4 years that have been that have happened since I was 18. But I would probably tell her to be a little bit more to try to to really try to find and stick with what she likes. So I don't know, just to focus on both the to do whatever she likes doing, and also to spend time with the people that she likes and that want to be with her at the same time. I think it's very important to sort of not to know what you. I think it's very important to know what you want, and if you don't know, to try to figure it out, just to not let life go by um, and not think of your goals to the future, like in the future. But at the same time, I would tell her that it's okay if you don't know, and if you're still trying to figure things out, but just don't stop trying to find out what it is that motivates you, what it is that pushes you, and yeah, and that just but that at the same time, yeah, it's a different path, and it's a different timeline for everyone.
Okay, so do more things you love and find what you love so
Yeah,
that you can do more of
and
that.
don't be too hard on yourself if it takes you longer, maybe.
That's
That's
a
what
hard one.
it
That's
is.
a really, really hard one.
It is, and it's also kind of a contradiction. But life is full of contradictions. So
Yes, depends on the perspective that you decide to look, on the lenses you look.
yeah.
But I look at you and I don't see you as someone that's just sitting and life is running and you're watching a movie. You're living your own movie, you're being the main character. So I think, yeah, I think we should all learn that a little more. And yeah, Julia, last question. So you know that guy which is inside the little bottle and he can wish all wishes in the world, the
The
genius, you
genie
know
in a
that guy,
bottle.
the genie in the bottle. So you are that guy now.
Oh,
and and you can make a rule and everyone has to follow that rule. Wherever you say, everyone has to follow, now and forever. What's the rule you're gonna make?
Oh my god, this is harder than a job interview, Mariana. um, a rule that anyone can follow, that
Mhm.
everyone has to follow. Okay.
Everyone has to follow.
Well, I would say um, that everyone. I am really struggling right now, but I would probably okay. I would say that everybody. I don't know. Mm, because I feel like if whatever I say, you're gonna take it very. I mean, you usually make me think a lot about these things, so that my answer has to be very well thought. But I haven't had time to think about this.
Go ahead. It's like I'm not
What
here.
is?
It's like
Yes,
it's like
you are.
a.
You are though. um. Well, I'm going to be very unoriginal here, but I'm going to say I don't know if you've seen the movie, but it's called like the Chain of Favors. I don't know if that's the correct translation in English, but it's a movie where everybody has to do three selfless deeds, like three favors to anyone. It doesn't have to be someone that you know; it can be a stranger. So, and you have to do three times during the year. You have to do this one act of kindness for everyone, and if someone does one to you, you have to continue it, and you have to sort of spread the chain, like spread the favor. And it's sort of like when you get, I mean, it would be the equivalent as to when you get COVID, that everybody else has to be careful. But instead of with COVID, with selfless acts and just paying it forward. Yes, I think it's called pay it forward, maybe.
Yes.
Um, and so I would say that everybody has to do at least three acts of selfless kindness in the year, maybe.
I love that.
Very
I haven't seen that
unoriginal,
movie, but I think that's so not original. I think that's original because I've never heard of it.
but
And yeah, I think you talking about COVID. I started laughing, but I remember those messages where people would send you, oh, I send you these, and now you have to send to like 50 of your friends, and you're gonna get good luck or receive like $1 million. I don't know, something like that. I was like, oh, these, but with kindness, but
yeah,
with actual actions.
yeah,
Yeah.
without expecting
So
anything in return. Okay, so that's
yeah.
why that yeah, that's what I would say as a genie in a bottle.
As a genie in the world. I wish you would be. If I would be a genie in the world, I wish that you would be the genie in the world so that you can
What is yours?
have your wish.
What would you say?
Oh, you're turning the interview the other way around.
I am very curious now.
Hmm.
I'm
No
sure
one
you can.
asked me. No one ever asked me that question. So now it's like me thinking, but it would be something related to kindness as well,
Mhm.
because when I look outside, I see that everyone is struggling. Everyone has challenges they have to overcome, and this is just human nature. So I think if we would all understand that we don't understand what people are going through, and we would still be kind and be kind to everyone, this would be an amazing world. Compassion and kindness, and you would have to be this all the time, not like when you call customer services and they scream. And I'm like, okay, I understand that people are mad, but like, please be kind because I lost my bag, something like this. Like, you would just be kind. Yeah.
I like it. Yep.
Yes. Okay, so
We're both concerned about kindness in the world, I feel like.
yes, especially like in these times of COVID, because I think it's hard to be alone, and it's hard to be with your own thoughts and to like expand on them. And it's these are hard times that we are going through right now, and especially because I and everyone would think that it would be over by now, but it keeps
But
on
it's
continuing, keeps on going. And so I think everything would be easier if we just all stick together and understand that, I mean, I'm not going through like a very easy time. I'm guessing you are not either. And if we are kind, then it's easier for everyone. And it's also easier for us because, you know, it's like a mirror. You throw and then you get back. So everyone would have it easier. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Finishing it deep, like we always do. There could not be another way
I mean,
to do
of
it.
course.
Yes. Julia, I have no more questions for you. I'm so grateful to have you here and to talk with you in this day before the year ends. I hope you are doing great. I hope I can see you soon.
I think
And
so.
and thank you for all your kind words and your inspiring words and advices. I
Thank you
think it
so
will help a
much.
lot of people. So thank you.
Well, I really hope that it might be useful or interesting for anyone who hears. And thank you so much for considering me interesting enough to have me and to have me to interview me. So thank you, Mariana.
Yes. And whoever's listening to this and wants to be friends with Julia, where can they find you?
You can find me on the social media. I'm gonna tag myself, like follow me on the link up here on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I'm joking.
We're
Find
gonna
me on
leave all our things. Reach out if you want. Like she's still studying. She's on her last year. So if you want to hire her, I hire her. I this is like a tricky thing. So just DM her because she will not be in the market for too long. So yeah, and see you.
See
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Mariana.